Hearing none, we'll move on. Looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, pulling 5C. If there's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Reuter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That will bring us to 4A, Clerk Advises Council 2024 Committee and Commission Appointments, January 16, 2023. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. You have in your packet a document that has committees and commissions for 2024. The highlighted positions are those that are their term is expiring. I did email standing committee members that are expiring and invited them to reapply. And we also advertised the committees and commissions on our social media Facebook page for applications. So I'm just asking you to take a look at those, know that those positions are open, and that you'll be considering those committees and commission appointments at the next city council meeting.
Thank you. Does council have any questions regarding that? Hearing none. We'll move on to 4B, Public Safety Officers Benefit. Administrator Rich.
You have in your packet a new benefit that was passed by the legislature this year, and this is for public safety employees such as police officers and firefighters that might be out of work due to a disability, a post-traumatic PTSD disability, and the state of Minnesota is reimbursing us. We do have to carry those employees on for health coverage until they become eligible for something else. So the state of Minnesota is reimbursing us for that. I believe Finance Director Brunfeld has something about that in her budget report as well. And just to make you aware, that this is something that we have to keep up with in order to be eligible for it. We have to offer an employee assistance program. Police officers and firefighters have to go through mental health training and awareness, and we need to offer those services. So we're working with Fire Chief Gaddis and Police Chief, Fire Chief Helquist and Police Chief Gaddis on those programs. A lot of them are already offered in their training, but we just need to make sure they're well documented.
Thank you. Does council have any questions regarding that? Do you know if is that reimbursed at 100% back to us?
I don't know that.
I'll ask Leslie when I see her. Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to 4C, Kingsbury Creek Restoration Project Kickoff Meeting. Administrator Rich.
We have some slide presentations from that kickoff meeting in your packet. It was attended by City of Proctor, and then people like MPCA, Minnesota DNR were in attendance, and this project is really being led by the South St. Louis County Soil and Water Conservation District. And you have the timeline in those slides, as well as what their anticipated work is. We are searching for some additional funding that the City of Proctor will be looking at to do some park amenities once they get the restoration done. We did apply for a CN America in Bloom grant, and were again denied for the third year in a row. And I thought it was a really good application with all the matching funds, but we'll keep trying.
Thank you. Any questions regarding that? Councilor Benson.
So the funds that have been secured, what looks like 660,000, does that all come for this project, or is that scattered throughout other projects?
Nope, that is all for Kingsbury Creek.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to 5C, Commenson Junction, 102 6th Street. Earlier today, we received a draft, and I'm wondering if council has any questions regarding that draft. Attorney Bray, did you have anything to add?
There's a list of how many visits that the police have had at the property. I did not attach that, but it's an exhibit provided to me by the chief of police. So it'll be attached. And it's pretty astonishing how many times they've been out there for different things.
Yeah, so, go ahead.
One of the things, I was told that the mother had sold the property outright to the daughter, but I didn't see that any deed that reflects that. So maybe the mother gave her a deed, but they haven't recorded it yet. I don't know.
Attorney Bray, I just have a question. When I read through it, it's legal mumbo jumbo to me. Anyways, the last paragraph, wherefore, comma, plaintiff, city of Proctor, comma, praise?
Yeah, that's old style language you put in a complaint for what
Okay.
you're asking for. You're
Okay,
not really praying.
yeah, I wasn't sure, so I just, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And Administrator Rich, we're looking for action on this tonight, if this is the way council wants to go. I know at the last meeting, we said we'd like to see the draft before we actually,
Yeah, and I did reach out to Mrs. Grady, and she had reported to me that she did sell the property to her daughter, I believe it is, and that they were in the process of filing that
If they
deed.
can show me that they have, I'll change the caption of the case.
what's council's thoughts? Do we want to proceed with the injunction on 102?
It's been going on long enough.
It's been going on a real long time.
I think we gotta get going on it.
I agree. I'll make a motion for Attorney Bray to follow up with who owns the property and if need be, change the draft that we were presented, but otherwise commence injunction on 102.6.
I'll
That'll be my
second
motion.
that. I'll second that.
I already did check to see if there'd been any transfers of the property and didn't see one.
Okay.
So I should leave it the way it is, and if they can show that they transferred the property, but they didn't actually record the deed, which does happen, I can substitute the caption for her daughter as a defendant.
That was gonna be my question. We sign off on this thing, it needs to get done, it gets done by whatever is it registered today, tomorrow. You can do an amendment
Oh,
after
sure.
the fact,
That's right.
if they prove, but better to get all parties involved in the beginning
It's
than.
better to do that, but to this point, I haven't seen any evidence that she had transferred the property. If I do, it's just as simple as serving it in amended summons and complaint. It's an absolute upright thing for me to do, so I'm taking the extra time.
So that way we're not waiting to file this thing.
Yep. Perfect. So I made a motion, Councilor Reuter seconded it. Any further discussion? Councilor Benson?
How does this impact potential or likely hypothetical other properties in the future?
Well, we could, if it works, we can use the same approach if they're doing the same kind of thing, which is to say, if they're maintaining nuisance after nuisance of different kinds of property, we can use the same approach. It's not going to affect anybody else unless they're doing the same kind of thing.
So at our blight committee meetings, we're looking at readdressing the blight ordinance. And there's multiple steps in there to address blight issues. I think this property was different in the fact that it was a continuous nuisance over and over, and maybe not the same nuisance over and over. So I feel the city would like to use their blight ordinance when that gets approved by council and go through those steps before we commence an injunction on another property. It's just kind of the repeated offender situation where we have no other choice is kind of my thoughts on that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Brings us to 6A under new business, 2024 meeting approval dates. In your packet was a list of the city council meeting dates. There are multiple Tuesday meetings due to holidays. Looking for a motion to approve those meeting dates.
So moved.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Benson, or Councilor Johnson. Why do I do that all the time? Councilor Johnson made the motion, Councilor Benson seconds it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 6B, Resolution 01-24, designating annual appointments. In your packet is the annual appointments for the newspaper, depository city funds, deputy mayor, responsible authority for data requests, compliance officer, designee of records, prosecuting attorney, city attorney, building official, building inspector, and electrical inspector. Looking for a motion to approve 01-24. And I'll make a motion to approve 0124 for discussion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Roeder. Any discussion? Under the newspaper, I know we've gone over this in the past, but, and Councilor Benson, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we only need one city newspaper.
I would say yes, but I would refer you to the attorney on that one.
Or the newspaper. If you're, you can be in the council if there's only one newspaper in town that qualifies under state statute.
Possibly for, if you're doing some bids, but you usually would go through other processes, but on rare occasions. You know, Hoghead Festival advertising.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just because, if I may.
Yeah.
Just because it's not listed doesn't mean we can't use it. And/or if something were to happen to our local newspaper, we'd still be able to use another newspaper.
Correct.
So it's kind of a redundancy to have two.
I would agree. So, kind of a backwards way of doing it, but I can rescind my motion or we can put it to a vote. But I would like to make a new motion with striking the News Tribune as our city newspaper.
I'm good with that.
You want to rescind yours?
Yes.
So I'll make a new motion to accept resolution 0124 with the Duluth News Tribune struck from our city newspaper and all other appointments good, if there's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Roeder. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I will,
Oh,
Mr. Mayor, if I could abstain.
Councilor Benson abstains. We'll do a roll call vote just to put that on record. Do you want me to do that, Administrator Rich? Do you want me to do a roll call vote?
It's probably a good idea.
Councilor Johnson?
Yes.
Councilor Roeder?
Yes.
Councilor Benson?
Abstain.
Councilor Dwell?
Yes.
Mayor Ward, yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Brings us to 6C, 2024 budget approval. In your packet was a detailed budget for 2024 that Finance Director Brunfeld put. There were some highlights that she had on the first page, and I talked to her before the meeting, and it's the only changes to this budget than the last one we saw were those highlighted changes. So looking for a motion to approve the 2024 budget.
Motion.
Councilor Benson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Hunt, in your packet, this was emailed out earlier, motion to approve the event application.
So moved.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 6E, resignation by Proctor PD police officer. On your desk before the meeting was a letter from Officer Hadeen putting in his resignation effective January 8th, 2024. Looking for a motion to approve the resignation letter. I'll make a motion to approve the resignation letter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Just like we do on all these, I'd like to thank Officer Hadeen for his time in Proctor and wish him well in the future. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to members' concerns. Councilor Reuter.
I'm shocked. No. No, I don't really have much. I just have a quick question, either of Jess or Troy. Have we heard anything at all from our developer friends?
No.
Okay.
Just the
wondering.
one time I did talk before the holidays,
Yeah,
and I would expect a follow-up here in the next week or two.
okay,
Was the last I had it.
Yep.
okay. That's all I have.
Thank you. Counselor Johnson?
Just want to say Happy New Year and thank Administrator Rich and her husband for the great party. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Benson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want the council to know that I'm looking forward to another, what I would assume is an exciting year for Proctor, and I'm hoping for wonderful things, and I think with this council, we could achieve that.
Thank you. Counselor DeWall?
Nothing.
Thank you. I got just a couple things. Again, I'll echo what Counselor Johnson said. Hope everyone had a happy and safe New Year. And our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, due to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Attorney Bray?
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Administrator?
I did want to point out one email that was left at your council, and perhaps I should have brought it up at the budget, or my clerk advises council, but the fire department is in need of replacing a truck. And the options are spelled out in this memo from the supplier, but it's something that's down the road, but the build-out is taking so long, and some decisions, there's price increases that are scheduled throughout the year, so there's some decisions that might need to be made quickly. So just review the letter and reach out to Chief Hellquist if you have any questions, but it'll be coming to you probably at the next meeting for consideration.
Thank you.
The one thing, if you want to pass on to him, I'd like to see is just the cost of the number 2 option.
Sure, yeah, I did see that too.
And I know they didn't have it, but they may have it by then.
Thank you. Any other conversation on that? Hearing none. We'll entertain a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $167,982.17.
So moved.
Counselor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Counselor DeWall made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.